Imagine a monument so strange, its purpose so deliberately obscure, that for over 40 years it stood as America's own modern Stonehenge. A towering slab of granite in rural Georgia, etched with 10 commandments for a post-apocalyptic world, written in 8 languages. It was called the Georgia Guidestones. And then, in 2022, it was destroyed. But the mystery wasn't in its violent end. It was in the silent, precise, and chillingly intelligent code hidden in its very geometry. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi, and this is the Unexplained Archive. To understand the code, you first have to see the stones. Picture this: 6 granite slabs, weighing over 240,000 pounds in total, erected in 1980. The central pillar, the gnomon, had a hole drilled through it at an exact angle so that at noon, a beam of sunlight would shine through and illuminate the day's date on a carving. A slot was aligned with the rising sun at the solstices and equinoxes. It was, on its face, a giant, permanent astronomical calendar. But the instructions on it, they were something else. They spoke of maintaining humanity under 500 million, guiding reproduction wisely, and unifying with a living new language. They were signed by a pseudonym, R.C. Christian, claiming to represent a small group of loyal Americans. Now, here's where it moves from curious to uncanny. Researchers and surveyors began to take the measurements of the structure, the distances between stones, their heights, their angles, and found they weren't random. They were precise mathematical constants. The arrangement encoded the dimensions of the Earth. The height of the monument related to the polar radius of our planet. The slot for the sun marked not just the solstice, but the 18.6-year lunar cycle. The stones themselves were positioned to mirror the spatial relationship of the 3 stars in Orion's belt as they would have been in 1980. This wasn't just a calendar. It was a terrestrial map and a celestial clock, frozen in granite. But the most compelling layer of this code wasn't for telling time or mapping stars. It was for sending a message. A message to whom? Or perhaps for whom? The prevailing theory among those who studied the Guidestones deeply is that this was a blueprint. A set of instructions carved in stone, yes, but the physical structure itself was a model. The precise ratios, the astronomical alignments, the geographic coordinates of the site, they all point to an attempt to communicate universal, non-linguistic principles. Principles of sustainable human civilization, built on a foundation of natural law and cosmic order. It was architecture as a manifesto, written in the only language its creators believed would survive a collapse: mathematics and geometry. As an engineer, I'm in awe of the precision, the tolerances, the astronomical knowledge. The sheer scale of the undertaking by this anonymous group is staggering. As a storyteller, I'm haunted by the narrative. Who were R.C. Christian and his group? Were they utopians, preparing a seed for civilization to regrow? Were they something darker, as many conspiracy theorists claimed? The stones invited that speculation, standing as a blank screen for our deepest fears and highest hopes about the future. The Guidestones are gone now, reduced to rubble. But in a way, their destruction completes their story. The physical monument was always meant to be permanent, yet it was fragile. The ideas encoded within it, however, the geometry, the ratios, the silent language of its design, those are indestructible. They exist now in the realm of data, of stories, of puzzles yet to be fully solved. The monument was the medium, but the message was always in the math. It asks us a profound question. If you wanted to speak to the future, to a civilization that might not speak any language you know, how would you write your wisdom? Perhaps you wouldn't use words at all. You'd draw them a blueprint. This has been the Unexplained Archive. I'm Ibnul J. Farabi. This episode was produced by Light Knot Studios. You can find more stories in the architecture of the strange at https://www.lightknotstudios.com.